Hi everyone, welcome to this session of the Nightcliff Seabreeze Festival. I'm Margaret Lambert and this session is called Tapping for Wellbeing. We're going to be doing a bit of tapping together. It's a technique that I use for myself and for other people to help maintain a sense of well-being and to assist with reducing anxiety, upset, or stress levels. You don't need to know much about tapping, you just need to do it. And today we'll all do it together so we can all benefit. When everyone taps together, it doesn't really matter if the issues being discussed are your particular issues or not. There's a benefit that can be attained when everyone taps together, regardless of what the issue. And often people report that they feel better after that tapping, even though they didn't realise they were particularly tuned in to the issue we might have been dealing with. It's helped them with their own issues. So tapping can be used for everyone, adults and children alike. And I've been doing my PhD study in using tapping for the well-being of children. And I've been using tapping with school children, applying it as a class technique. So I'm nearing the end of that research and it's shown some very positive benefits to students in the way that they feel and in the way that they apply tapping to help them be able to focus better on their work or their performance, whatever that is. In general, we'll talk about well-being, and I think before we get into the well-being aspect, I'd like to really commend the organisers of the Nightcliff Seabreeze Festival because they've done a superb job in being able to bring the festival to you again, despite the limitations. And I know that they've had to work very hard to be able to do that. So the festival might not be the same as normal out on the foreshore, but I've tried to bring a little bit of the outdoors to you today. And I'm recording this on the deck of the outdoors of my home. Some of the activities we can do to help our well-being are spending time in the outdoors. I think we all feel better when we can get a dose of nature. It can be very soothing and calming and can help us get back into perspective. Some of the stresses and upsets that we've maintained while we are quite closed up can be relieved when we broaden ourselves, move out into the outdoors, stretch out, open up, and get a better perspective of what life really is. So I'm hoping during this time of the pandemic period that you're all able to get a dose of the outdoors at least once a day. And other aspects for our well-being are to engage in activity. Some of you will be doing that indoors, but there's many outdoors activities we can still do. We can go out and walk for exercise, cycle, and whatever other things you've been able to find that helps with your physical state to be able to keep yourself active in some way. Other activities we can do for our well-being are yoga. Many of you will already be doing yoga. But if you find yourselves limited in what you can do because that activity is not possible anymore, you may be able to commence yoga through some of the online programs that are available. Life's a bit different at the moment with the pandemic and the limitations on our lives. And I think it's a time that we can reflect and rearrange, reorganise, find new things to sustain ourselves. Another activity to enhance our well-being, of course, is meditation. The problem with meditation, I find that many people report, is that they find it very hard to keep still in terms of their thinking. Most people, it seems, have a very active mind, and when they try to still the mind, they find it very difficult with the continual intrusive thoughts. So what I've found is useful is to do a meditation that allows somebody else to talk you through being focused in a particular way. You can get many free meditations online, such as body scan, where the talking takes you through each part of the body, focusing on the thumb, the forefinger, the middle finger, etc. Most people find that they can tune in better when someone is guiding them through a meditation. So if you find that you've got a very active mind, it may be good to seek out some of those guided meditations where somebody is actually talking you through it. And that helps to still your own thoughts that tend to be a bit repetitive. Other aspects we can do, activities we can do, are some gentle exercise like Tai Chi or Qigong. And you'd be able to search for some of those online, doing some very gentle activities. And of course, breathing is a big part of Qigong and Tai Chi. And you can do deep breathing simply on its own, and that can help your well-being and manage your stress levels. So on to tapping. We don't need much to do tapping. We only need our fingers and the rest of our body. We're going to tap on some of the points that help maintain a sense of calm and relaxation. To begin with, it's a good idea to have water handy, because this is an energy technique, and when we do energy-based techniques such as yoga, Qigong, Tai Chi, it's a good idea to be hydrated, and living in the tropics, we know the importance of that. Also, before we start tapping, you should have clean hands, because we will be applying the hands to the face. And in this pandemic period, we know how important it is to keep our hands clean, and especially if we're going to be touching our faces. Right, before we begin, check in with yourself. Sometimes it's a good idea to close your eyes so that you filter out all the other stimuli. Close your eyes and assess what level of stress or upset, anxiety you may feel. And put a number on it between 0 and 10, 10 being extremely high and 0 being nothing at all. Some people like to note that down, pen and paper, because when we do the tapping, they may find that they've forgotten the number that they started with. The reason for assigning a number is to see how your anxiety or stress levels have reduced as a result of the tapping. Other people just have a sense themselves and don't bother with numbers. But sometimes numbers can help to really see clearly. That technique really did work for me. because the numbers are telling the story. What I've found in my research is that tapping doesn't seem to work every single time for people. But that doesn't mean that it doesn't work any time. So we apply it again, and in moments when it didn't work, simply have a drink of water, apply it again, use some different words perhaps. When we do tapping, it's a combination of tapping points on our body and saying some words. So let's begin. All you have to do is follow me, a little bit like Simon says. Kids can do it too, of course. Follow me with the tapping, and I'll say the words. I'll lead the words, and then I'll pause. And the pause is for you to repeat the words. I'm going to relate this tapping session to the stresses perhaps that we're experiencing with the limitations due to the coronavirus now. So let's begin. Everyone tapping here? Even though I'm feeling a bit stressed, I accept myself completely. Even though I'm feeling a bit stressed, maybe anxious and upset, I accept myself completely. Even though I'm feeling a bit stressed, maybe anxious and upset, because life is quite different now. There are so many limitations. I can't live the life that I used to live in the way that I was doing things, getting out and about. It's all a bit different now, and it's not really the way I wanted it to be. I deeply and completely accept myself. Okay, now we'll tap on other points now. Keep following me, and I'll pause for you to repeat the words. All this stress, upset and anxiety about the way life is at the moment. Tapping between the eyes now. All this stress, upset and anxiety about the limitations at the moment. All this stress, upset and anxiety about the coronavirus. Tapping under the eyes now. All this stress about life being so different. And my worry about loved ones who are far away. All the upset about the news that I see. All this upset about the coronavirus situation. When will life get back to normal again? All this stress and upset about the coronavirus situation. All this stress and upset about the limitations on my life at the moment. Take a deep breath. I often shake my hands afterwards. The deep breath's important. Allow the chi to flow through. And then I'm going to have a drink of water. So that's our tapping session for today. You can view this again. You can tap for yourselves. You can research more on tapping. You can get in touch with me if you'd like to know a little bit more. I hope you enjoy the Nightcliff Seabreeze Festival with what's on offer, and I hope you all stay safe over this time. All the best.